How could potential game-changing technology influence food security in China by 2030? Two alternative scenarios were developed to address this challenge and presented in this film. Many variables change throughout these scenarios. However, demographics, economic growth, and global warming are three hard truths with a continuing presence. China's demographic profile is going under a profound change. With a shrinking working age population, an estimated fall by around 100 million will be seen over the next 20 years. China's one-child policy will result in a surplus of young single males who will not marry or have children. Some experts call this China's demographic tsunami. Another key factor will be the way in which China continues to integrate with the global market. China will have to move from an imitation to an innovation economy. The impact of climate change is likely to play a major role in how China feeds its population. With rapid growth comes a requirement for efficient fuels. Even if, as promised, China becomes the world's most energy-efficient major economy, it will still be impacted by falling water tables, especially in the southeast, and air pollution in its major cities. Under the global protectionist scenario, a limited relationship exists between sovereign states that defend and help domestic companies to gain a privileged position in specific markets. Such scenarios, like international collaboration and efficiency, are sacrificed in order to support local interests and internal survival. All resources are focused on short-term stability, and the potential benefits of a truly global economy and society are disregarded. As the world closes its borders in the protectionist scenario, there will be a tremendous impact on Chinese society, economy, and its relationship with other global players. The Chinese government would likely react by increasing its control of the country's farming regions, creating more and larger state farms, and therefore embracing the utilization of genetically modified crops and increasing productivity per hectare. This would imply that there would be a single big export customer for food technology companies. Corruption in rural areas would become prevalent as land designation starts to play a critical role, creating political tensions at both the central and regional party levels. As population grows, the challenge to satisfy food demands escalates, increasing the cost of food and the discontent in a society with a growing middle class. The Chinese government would have to work on developing in vitro meat as the best viable alternative to deal with evolving dietary needs. Limited choice and information on genetically modified and in vitro food would allow the government to effectively distribute these products without significant opposition from the population. China's borders remain largely shut, and so the possibility to expand production capacity and utilize the unused land of neighboring countries are severely limited. Rapidly, people's focus turns to increasing production quantity rather than quality. Nutritious value of Chinese-produced food decreases, leading to a slowdown in population and GDP growth. Environmental impact of such a prioritization is wide-ranging, usually resulting in an increase in pollution. Under this scenario, there would be widespread social unrest and a consequent increase in military repression in order to sustain the governability of the nation. In a transformative scenario, sovereign states will address these issues by adopting a long-term and collaborative approach, in which specialization and sharing of technologies enables a higher level of global growth. Governments will commit to multilateral agreements, establishing global frameworks to regulate environmental, financial, and social issues. Global competition will create pressure for continuous improvements in efficiency through the involvement of all stakeholders. Under the transformative scenario, China's GDP growth will be higher, creating more demand for non-stable products. Increased openness will generate imports and allow governments to deal more flexibly with potential crop disease, droughts and pests, decreasing the dependency on genetically modified crops. Unfortunately, increasing international awareness and freedom will drive Chinese consumers to reject genetically modified foods just as consumers in the developed world today. Marketing campaigns will have to be devised to address these issues. Access to global food markets will result in lower food prices and more variety to please increasingly demanding customers who form the budgeting middle class. The global economic environment will allow China to purchase territories overseas, increasing its access to arable land and the need for expertise from Western countries. Another consequence of the transformative scenario is that the government will be under increased pressure to institute political, economic, environmental, social and land reform. There will be an increasing international influence to reduce pollution, creating better conditions for agriculture and the global environment. There will also be a reduction in rural corruption as transparency increases. Less land is going to be taken away from farmers and converted for urban development. Land reform will become more probable, creating a land-owning class which will be incentivized to extract better yields, developing an ecosystem of small, private customers for agriculture products. Finally, political change would create more opportunities for privatization and direct foreign investment, opening the doors for Western food companies into China. Both scenarios present challenges and opportunities. Protectionist scenario requires to build a closer relationship with the Chinese government, as they are the gatekeepers to agriculture. Only companies willing and able to establish these relationships will capitalize on the opportunities presented by this scenario. Transformative scenario allows for a local market presence and a more direct relationship with customers requiring food technology products and services. Only fast-moving companies with global abilities will be able to benefit from this scenario.